Support for 100 Watts in a Wire is provided by Bioenno Power. If you're looking for a power solution, check out Bioenno Power, offering the best lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. Visit bioennopower.com. That's BIOENNOPOW.com. LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. An LDG desktop tuner works automatically with nearly any station and up to 1,000 watts. LDG power tuners are ideal for portable and mobile use as they consume almost no current and can be powered by internal batteries that last up to a year. LDG tuners are backed by our 2-year, fully transferable warranty and our legendary customer service, the best in the industry. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Yes, indeed. Show enough. Thank you very much. Earl Bailey, the mighty Earl Bailey. You can hear him on satellite radio, Sirius XM. He's the deep tracks guy and a deep voice guy. A dear friend and a broadcast mentor of mine. Hello, it's Christian. My call sign's Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel. Welcome to episode 325 of the 100 Watts in a Wire podcast. It's good to be here with you. We're going to be talking about contesting a little bit. What your preferences are. What's your philosophy? Go get the atlas. Hold it up. Whatever, a feather pen, whatever it is, so we can discuss your philosophy today. A couple of things before we get into that. We're also going to announce week number 2's winner of the 1K giveaway. We're doing 4 weeks, $250 per week. All you need to do, go to the ham radio store of your choice, fill the cart up with upwards of $250. Don't buy it. Take a screenshot or two. Maybe you got a bunch of smalls in there. I don't know. Well, send me your screenshots. And it's easy enough for you to do. It's Christian at 100wattsinawire.com. You're going to go into a big pot. It's a friendly pot. People are nice there. They're kind to each other. They pay respect. They have integrity in their work. And they're kind. Well, anyhow, each week, this is week number 2, I'm going to pick a winner randomly. It's a sequentially thing now. It's a random generator. My children have been sick. I think we need to retire that philosophy because the numbers are increasing. It's hundreds. Hundreds of people are applying, registering, entering. And they've been sick. And I've been trying to stay on the edges of sick. Not quite well, which is normal. Points to brain. And trying to stay clear of the funk they've been in, because it's about a 5 to 7 day thing going around. There's some nasty stuff going around. They are not with COVID or any new variant thereof. So we're lucky in that regard here, but it's been wacky. That gets to my next point. But let me talk about the giveaway that's going to come up week number 2. After you send me your screenshot to Christian at 100wattsinawire.com, you put in that friendly place. Each week, we'll pick a winner. If your name is called, then 100 Watts in a Wire will buy the contents in your cart and ship it to you directly. I don't want to touch it. I like to see it. I like to see what you're looking at. But it's completely random. But look, it's $1,000. Who else is giving away $1,000? Okay, that's it. I rest my case. We're also doing some other cool stuff here, but I'll talk about that in just a little minute. If you want more information about the 1K giveaway or anything we're doing here at 100 Watts in a Wire, please visit 100wattsinawire.com. For more info, click the 1K giveaway. And that may change after we finish this one. Maybe we'll do something new. The money comes into the show. It goes back to the development and creation and distribution of the program. That's what we're doing. We're propagating ham radio as best as we can do it on our platform here. Speaking of the platform, my friends, my brothers and my sisters, I announced on the social media that I needed to stop live streaming this podcast because I love the live stream. It reminds me of my broadcast days in Baltimore and Philadelphia, and even here in St. Louis. It was a different kind of vibe, though. Rock radio is a different, lively energy, and I love it. And I still love to live stream, very much so. But for the 100 Watts in a Wire podcast, I need the flexibility to be able to drop a show whenever I can. I don't want to wait around until Sunday. Let's also add in the factor of these children, sick children, doctor's appointments, dance, schools they're going to go to, tours of schools. You know, if you have children and you care about those children and you've got a wife and your family matters, you get it, right? Of course, everybody listening does. So that's what's going on. I need to free up that space, and I need the flexibility to drop a show at 11:15 a.m. on a Thursday. Why? Because it fits. It fits into what I need to do right now today, and I can do it. I hope you understand. We'll also do some live streaming, though. Don't worry. Contests, checking antennas. I like to jump in the game and test my stuff. So maybe a stream there, maybe a stream of our nets on Sunday night. I just didn't want to be locked in to only 7 o'clock on Sunday because there's a lot of other times that I could do stuff and clip it off. I may be able to do more shows with flexibility. That's it. That's it. People are saying, see, child, what's going to happen to the sidecar, Steve? What is going to happen to sidecar? Nothing. I'm going to figure out a way for us to do something during the week and add it here into the show because I don't know when I'll record. And frankly, from the early days, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I recorded at 10:30 at night, if I recorded 5:30 in the morning. Both have been done. This is the lunchtime hour. So it's not about when I record it or how I need to get it to you. It's that I get it to you. Okay? So that's where I am with the live stream of this particular show, this podcast. Other things may come along. We'll live stream it. We'll let you know. YouTube is a tool for me. It isn't the end all. This began in 2015 as a podcast to talk about amateur radio, to propagate amateur radio, to document my discoveries as a layman. I consider myself coming into this hobby and service as a guy who is on this side of the microphone mostly wanting to figure out how the other side worked. Now, I don't know nearly enough to be the guy to take the stuff out of the box. And you can see the excitement because they just think of them in their minds that I'm going to be able to keep this, right? I don't get into my other project coming up. But these big brain people already exist out there in amateur radio. You didn't need another one of those. I needed some friends to help me through. I needed a community of people that I could go to and talk about amateur radio and talk about the things I didn't know without getting beat over the head. And I couldn't find it all the time. I couldn't really find it. I found a couple of friendly folks who I felt that maybe I'm going to way too much. So I started this podcast and this community, and we've been kicking it since 2015. And what's important is that this show, the audio, come out sounding good. It comes out when it should, at some point during the week. You download it, you listen whenever, you fly, jog, cook, whatever. So YouTube to me is it is a tool that I will continue to employ and use and have it in my toolbox. I will put the full episode of this after it's released as a podcast. You'll see some fun snippets. We'll do some live streams when it makes sense. It's not going away. I'm just not going to stream the podcast on Sunday night and wait all week. Somebody's got an interesting ring. You hear it? It's like the bell to shut up. Somebody's calling me like, shut it down. I just realized this chair is getting a bit raggy. It's getting raggy. It's starting to make noise and break away. All right, friends. This week we're going to talk about contesting a little bit. The weekend is here. Well, coming. We're getting closer. And the 160 contest, this is the one where I fight so much outside to get this antenna up, to keep the trees from falling on it, cleaning up the trees that did fall on it. You know the deal. You've listened to this show long enough, I hope. If not, you can go back in the archive. But Lord have mercy, I have had that antenna fall down. I have had to put it up many times. And when this contest comes around, I like to test the antenna to see what it will do for me, because all the stuff, those long legs, their pain, it is a fickle mistress. And I want to see how she does. So during the contest time, I don't do it for the numbers. I do it for me. And I know that sounds selfish, but I do it for that antenna too. I want to see, can I work Oregon? Can I get out to anywhere out west? Can I get to California? Can I make it any further? Can I get to the Pacific Northwest, to Vermont? And when those stations are on and calling, oh man, you got a shot at it. Now, you may not get a real signal report. You can almost tell by the way, if they miss a letter, if they asked you to come back, you're not 5'9 plus. You're not. They're going to give you the 5'9", though, because that's the way it can go in the contest, and it's easier and whatever. Everybody gets the 5'9", and that's a debatable topic. Should it be that way or should it not be? I don't care. I'd prefer myself to always give, a true signal report for me is my favorite thing to do. I'd love to get it, but in the contest, you won't get that, and you just have to kind of determine, did he struggle to get me? Did he ask me for my call sign a couple times, 2, 3, 5 times? So you did make the contact, and that's cool. And if it was a smooth biggity-bang you want, he gave you 5'9", maybe you were a 5'9" getting into Vermont, and that's pretty sexy. So that's kind of my philosophy and how I work with it. Oh, let me get back to Steve. Steve is, I can't just make him be here. He's got a life just like I've got a life, and I've got to work. But if I hadn't mentioned it earlier, I'd like him to come back and do the thing where he answers questions. So if you have questions, you can send them to me. Don't you go to sleep on me. You're going to wake up. Not you. The radio went dark. My screens went dark. And I will get him to answer your questions. If you have questions, put them in social. We'll try to skim those questions. And I'll make the time to sit with him, and we'll do a segment where he's answering questions. And whenever we can work this out, to work it out and make it work, we'll do it. So don't worry. Steve is on the team, and that's just what's up. And maybe some other things. If you want to learn about a specific topic, he's the one with 40 plus years. He's the one I need to bring in, or other people to come in and talk about it. I can't tell you about your lightning resistors. Somebody told me to bang a copper pipe in the back. I just did it because I didn't know. Don't worry. We're all going to be here. We just have to figure out something new, and that's that. So where was I? As we talked about contesting, yes, I test the antennas the best I can, or I listen for those entities I don't have, meaning maybe I don't have that country, maybe I don't have that state, whatever it may be. Maybe you're working all states. If it's a DX contest, I don't have this country. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. And in recent times, I worked China, a city in China, and I was just kind of blown away. It freaked me out. I was like, what? But the contest moves like that, so you have to remember that. So if you're new to contesting, the 5-9 number is sort of an arbitrary deal. Everybody's getting it. Listen for how hard they had to work you, and that might give you a sign of how you made it. This weekend's a 160, and I'm going to be in it and making some noise. Now, each week, I like to post on our socials, which are basically at this point Facebook, which we've been around since the beginning, and not the beginning of Facebook. Although I think Zucky, I'm trying to kind of hedge my bet here a little bit, just in case things go south. There's a lot of people that don't do Facebook, and I totally get it. We started a Discord server, which is an interesting thing. I like the organizational aspects of it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out what the people want and what they need, what's too much, who cares. That's the biggest question. But anyway, we will, just like you need to post your questions, if you have questions for us to answer and to consider, do that on our socials, Facebook or in Discord. Just do a search on Discord for 100 Watts and Wire, and you'll find us. Another small but friendly group of people. People are in and out. It's an interesting kind of thing. Facebook, I post up a question usually on Monday, and I'll let it ride for a while, and just to see who is going to participate. Because, again, it's not about me telling you, here's what you need to do. You must do this, and this is the answer, and that's just it. No. It's I want to hear what you're doing. I need to learn from you guys. So I put the question up into both of those places, and we can go through some of the answers now. I believe I got to open them up here first. And don't forget, coming up here shortly, I'm going to be giving away the $250 for this week. All the names go into one safe place. Everybody's assigned a number, of course. And then you will be, it's random. It's a random generated number. Bada bing, bada bing. All right, I'm just going through some of the Facebook things real quick to make sure I got everything open so I can read them properly. We didn't talk about you much here this morning. Why don't you take a few minutes to tell me what's going on in your world? I'll have to hum because people are very uncomfortable with dead air. You said great. Wonderful. That's lovely. It is a beautiful day here at game time, 64 degrees. We are December 2nd. Also my mother's birthday. So happy birthday to Mom back in Delaware. Okay, I think I've got everything opened up to talk about. What's that you said? Your temperatures are not so nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. Today's the day I took my daughter to school, and I saw a guy on a motorbike, and he was cruising along, and I was like, man, this could be one of the last days, and I knew he was out there just because it's so nice. 64 degrees, can't beat that. All right, let's dive into it a little bit here. I put the question out, what is your philosophy? Do you like to park and bark, search and pounce, or do you just turn the radio off? Some people don't dig contesting at all, and I haven't read through these answers, so we may see some of that. Top 51 answers on Facebook on the board. Let's see what Jeff went, I won't go through all 50 here because I know you might want to do something else, but Kilo Foxtrot 5, Kilo Whiskey Oscar, you're 5'9" from Texas. We're pretty close. Jeff says, I like the park and bark, man. That's a new one for me. He hadn't heard that one before. He's going to add that into his repertoire. Johnny says, I keep going up the frequency until I get quiet, then I throw out my CQ at 10 to 12 words per minute. Ben says, yes, I occasionally, depend on the contest. I'll start either hunting or calling CQ, and then switch from contacts. He switches when the contacts become slow. If he's in search and pounce mode, he'll keep an air out for clear frequencies. Chris says search and pounce for him. He's Kilo Delta 9 Charlie Lima Hotel in Wisconsin. John, when the contest begins, I pick a frequency and call. When things wind down, I prowl the band. I like that. He's Alpha Charlie 8, India Echo. Michael, I used to search and pounce, but now I try and P&B, park and bark, as much as I can. Many people don't like to park and bark. They've got feelings about, I don't know, maybe like talking to someone new or just kind of jumping out there. It's not, it's not for everybody, and people like that quick exchange. People have mic fright. We've done shows about that, at least one, where people have not mic fright. And I get it, man. I totally get it. So whatever works for you works for me. William, I rover the bands for all I can grab. His CW is slow, but he likes to roam around a little bit. Delbert, Kilo 7, Papa Delta. He's like, park and bark? I've never heard that one before. Yeah, I didn't make it up. I heard that when I got into the game around 2012, I guess it was. Ricardo, search and pounce. Like to search and pounce. And to describe what that is, it's just to go around, turn the dial and go for it and see what you hear and pounce on something if you need to. Spike in Montana says, I don't do contest. I've worked as a communicator on a U.S. Navy submarine. My Radio Shack needed to be a quiet place. Very good. Al, the one thing newcomers to contesting don't realize is you have to do both. If you only search and pounce, there will be stations and multipliers you won't get. Now, this is a contester who is into the contesting for the points. Your boy, me, I just turn. I hear one, I don't have it. Jump, roll, go back, start heading down. That's kind of how I deal with it. But that's not a true contester. That's not me trying to get points. What Al is saying is true. You got to use everything you can when you're trying to get points. Old boy Terry says, I believe he's in Virginia. I search and pounce, but mostly sit and scratch. You a nasty son of a... At least he didn't post a picture with that. I don't want to encourage that, but in the privacy of your own home, have fun. Don, I have no interest in FT8 or 300 contacts in an hour. I leave my rig on idle, and if someone comes by, I'll help them out with a point. Whiskey Zero, Zulu, Echo, November. Depends on the contest. I search and pounce 13 colony type events. For field day this summer, I ran FT8 simply because that is where the contacts were. Bob Hood, Kilo Echo 4, Quebec, Charlie Yankee, search and pounce. Bill, I go to the Wark bands for a rag chew. Right on. Pietro, he's India Kilo 4, Mike, Tango, Foxtrot. I work during the contest with a fishing pole antenna on my balcony and a 100 watts. About the question, it depends on the contest. Okay. Sometimes he devotes a little more time to the park and the bark. Kenneth says, can't sit for any length of time now, but used to search and pounce as I ran QRP most of the time. There you go. Frank, he turns off his radio for the most part. Sean says, I love contesting. For me, it's the ultimate challenge for my station's capabilities and my skill as an operator. He enjoys CW. Sweepstakes is his favorite. Thank you, Sean. David, Whiskey 7 Tango Romeo Golf, you're 5'9". He mixes the strategy, pounce, search and pounce, park and bark. There you go. Tom, Kilo Echo 0, United November Victor, search and pounce for him. He thinks it's more fun. And on they go. Adam, he says, I park and bark. He sets on a frequency for the Missouri QSO party and sweepstakes, and that's what he does. Dave, November 5, Papa, November, Zulu. I go to 17, 24, and 60s. Fine rag chewers and chill. He gets his chill on. Sam, search and pounce. If it's not productive, turn off the radio. Good deal. I'm going to get a drink because I've been saying words, a lot of them, so hang tight. Cheers to you all. coffee. Where was I? Neil, I turn off the radio. Fine. Lana, it depends on my rates. I'll park on a frequency, and if my rate drops off, then I'll hunt and pounce for a while. Bradley, I do a little bit of both. I call CQ until I get bored. And then he sees what's new on the band. He's Kilo Charlie 1, Juliet Mike Hotel. RE says, my first contact, where we're working search and pounce for a contest, he got hooked and he still enjoys the hunt. Dig it? Rick, running a 10 to 15 watt single sideband, it's search and pounce for him. Vinny, search and pounce. It's much more fun when he had 100 countries. It's harder at 233. But see there, Vinny has a goal. Vinny is trying to work things that he doesn't have. This kind of goes back to my deal. I'm testing the antenna. I'm trying to see what I can get. And if I don't have that entity, I'll jump on it. Brent says a little bit of both. He's not a hardcore contester, but enjoys making the contacts in the contest. Ira, radio goes off. Okay, no worries. Gary, for me, I'm a true contester, and that's about all I am. I used to be half and half, rag chewer and half contester. These days, I just can't get into an intelligent conversation with all these blankety blank blanks. Okay. All right, we reserve judgment. That's okay. You can say what you are, but I don't really need to read about, being unhappy on the air and who's out there. We all know what's out there. You either find a spot or you can't. Get it? Randy, he turns it off and does something else. Sometimes I take a nap. That's what I do. Don, search and pounce first. My pile-up copy sucks, so there's no way I can run. Second, I consider it a gauge of a station's performance on how many times do I have to make a call. Whiskey 6, Charlie, Zulu, and we talked about that a little bit before. Matthias, Alpha Juliet 4, Bravo, Bravo. He likes to search and pounce. John, he starts at the bottom edge and does a search and pounce on up. Good. Bob, also search and pounce mostly. He's Kilo 3, Romeo, Lima, Whiskey. Steven, watch for the DX I don't have and work that. Dennis says, I've never heard the expression before, park and bark, but I love it. Can't take credit for it, but I'm glad I could pass it on to you, my friend. Let's see. Sue says, search and pounce. She's Kilo Bravo 9, Bravo Sierra Kilo. PJ, I used to just pick off what I needed for entities, but this year I think I found the joy of operating. I'm only 100 watts with a tiny suburban lot, so running doesn't work great for me most of the time. So he's out there doing search and pounce with his 100 watts. It is harder. It is harder against the big guns with 100 watts. Hence the reason why I developed a couple of operating events, hopefully to level the playing field some and get away from great events, like field day. It's hard to hold a frequency with 100 watts. I totally get it. PJ is Whiskey 8 Golf, Juliet Kilo. Now, let me see if I can move on over here. What do I need to do? Can I get over to the Discord here? Okay, we've got a Discord set up. You're welcome to join us there, 100 watts and a wire. If you'd like to take a look at that, you can. Pastor Joe says he likes to bounce and pounce. He's Whiskey Alpha 2, Juliet Oscar Echo. Scotty says bounce and pounce. More bouncing and pouncing. I might park and bark for a little bit in the Maryland QSO party, but otherwise, bounce and pounce. Ian, November Victor 4, Charlie, his philosophy varies depending on the contest. The Georgia QSO party is definitely parking and barking. Other state QSO parties search and pounce. Major DX contest, ARRL, CQ Worldwide, etc. Mainly search and pounce. As the contest goes longer, I'll park and bark if I find a place. Don's Kilo Charlie 0 Delta Whiskey Zulu. Being barefoot, I tend to search and pounce, since I likely would get pushed around by stronger stations. Understood. Dwayne, Kilo 9 Lima, Romeo Golf. I use both methods. However, for me, it's more how much time do I have? Bing, bang, 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 ring the bell. Do I have a bell to ring for you? I think I can. That's a little bell. Time. That kind of goes back to what I started with today, talking about time and all that. Ernie says, I enjoy both. Ben, Kilo X-Ray 4, Tango, Quebec. Most are bounce and pounce except for field day. Done mostly with the club, he parks and barks. And David, for field day, come on, start an argument. And this California QSO party, both park and bark and search and pounce. He does California QSO is only, let's see, for folks out there in Sixland, blah, 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 blah. Good opportunity to learn how stations run their contest. So there you have it, friends. There are some of our friends, 60 of them or so, who are out there working. And hopefully you got some good information from that. It's just a philosophy. Less people in this group said they didn't care for it. Looking at the Discord just a second, you can, let's see. I mean, there wasn't anybody on the Discord that was given the business and saying, oh, but I get it, man. There's sometimes I get ear fatigue, for being in the game for so long, not necessarily amateur radio, but radio and audio in general, that you can get ear fatigued. You get out there and your ears are, and it's the adjacent stuff that gets me. I don't know if it's the age or what, but I'm listening for something and I hear that something, and then there's something adjacent, and I know the filters are there and they work really well on some of these newer rigs, but still that sound can come across as just ripping through you, man. And after a while, for me, I got to turn it off. But I told you what I do out there. All right, brothers and sisters, we are doing the 1K giveaway, and I want you to go and think about the 100wattsandawire.com website, because this is where you can go and find out what you need. Look up here at the top of the bar when you get to the page, the 1K giveaway, and it'll tell you what I'm going to tell you now, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier. All you need to do is go to your favorite ham radio store. There's different ones, HRO, DX Engineering, these acronyms. And there's others out there that you can find. R&L, Main Trading. There's probably something in town that you like. I don't know. And put upwards of $250 in your cart. Okay, don't buy this stuff, but take a screenshot of it. Send the screenshot to me. Christian at 100wattsandawire.com. I'm going to put you in the big pool. All right, there's a big pool. It's nice. It's comfortable. Everybody's friendly. Anyway, you're getting in there, and then each week, this is week number 2, I'm going to pick a winner from this group. And 100 Watts and Wire is going to buy the contents of your cart. This week's winner, get ready for it. Get ready for it. I wish I had a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll, but here he is. Week number 2, Ed Jones. Kilo 8 Mike Echo Juliet. He's our winner. Congratulations to Ed. Again, Kilo 8 Mike Echo Juliet. Ed Jones. Now, in his cart, he wanted 7 fuse assemblies. Now, I don't know what he's going to be working on. Perhaps we can get some information on that, but some solar parts and accessories. And there you go, a fuse assembly. We'll be sending that out to Ed Jones, Kilo 8 Mike Echo Juliet. And I have fun because, it's just like, let me put it back up there. For me, it's fun because, I don't even get to I don't need to touch it. I don't need to touch it, man. We just buy it and we give it and send it off to you. So congratulations. We got 2 more weeks of this, $250 next week. And the following week, we're getting closer to Christmas. We are in December. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. Frankly, I cannot believe it. But here we are. And the only show here in amateur radio that is giving away $1,000. Propagating this hobby and this service. So I thank my sponsors. I thank our members. I thank people who give donations and buy me coffee. Have you seen that one? Buymeacoffee.com? Yeah. Buymeacoffee.com and then my name. You find me and you can get it from the website as well. But people who give, it goes toward the development of new programming, the creation of that content, and the distribution of it. It goes back to the show. And then times like this, I can give it back out. And that's a proud feeling. Speaking of doing something new, before I leave you, and I will miss you, I do all the time, but I do lurk around in our social media outlets. On Facebook, I do as much as I can there. I don't do much for my personal stuff there, but the 100 Watts in a Wire community is there. And on Discord, which is newer, and I'm usually there trying to set things up so it makes sense. Good luck. Good luck. A new show coming out in January, which is beginning to take shape right now, is called 30 Days. Again, visit 100wattsinawire.com to learn more about this. But this, essentially, is an honest review system where members of our community who have 100-watt IDs will test and trial ham radio products and ham radio adjacent products. You have to have a 100-watt ID to participate. If you go to the website, click 30 days, it'll show you, it'll give you a link to do so. You can register for that. Everything is free, which is, that's good. But what I'm going to do, and I've already done it. So December, we're underway. The product is going out right now. The current product is 2 antennas. The one is a 20-meter isotron antenna that's been out for decades. The other is a Radio Waves DX40 off-center fed dipole. A couple of things I want to say about this. The DX40, you needed space. So I needed 4 people who were in the pool. This is a lottery. So if you've got a 100-watt ID, you fill out this small form here at the bottom of the page on our website. Very simple, but your shipping address, all these sorts of things. Call sign, your name, your 100-watt ID, because you need that. There's 5,000 of those or so out there now. Well, if you're interested in this and giving an honest peer review, this is 30 days. We're taking 30 days, send you the product. You have to agree to set it up, test it, and then come on the show and talk to me about how it performed for you. So that's what we'll do. We'll take and we'll get a cross-section of our community to comment. It's not me receiving this in the mail and going, I'm going to give you a review about this. Yeah, I'm holding my drink. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. It's great because I'm waiting for, and I don't have this in me. That's why I'm not doing it. I've never done the unboxing or the reviews. For one, I don't know if I'm capable of doing a proper review for you to make it make sense in this genre. If it was a microphone, if it was a documentary, a piece of whatever, maybe. But, to unbox something and just sort of tell you, buy it. And, but I know people are doing that. They're out there and they will give glowing reviews in order to continue access to the stuff. And those people, whatever it is, keep that stuff. If you agree to receive it, set it up, whatever it may be, test it, and then come on the show and talk to me and the audience about what you discovered, you can keep it. All right? You only need to enter into this one time. This is real money going out. So hopefully if it's popular enough, we will continue to do it, but it's real money. So somebody has to pay for that and go back a couple minutes and talk and listen to how money it comes into the show. These people aren't donating these antennas or any of the products that are coming for review, to be reviewed and please be nice, just be nice. No, our community is going to take them out and they're going to see if they're worth it. Do they hold up? And we'll talk about it. So that's a program that you can get involved with. It'll be a new show. It'll be released as the podcast, so you'll be able to hear it and see it as it makes its way eventually over to YouTube without any problem. So it's called 30 Days. I'd love for you to participate. Just send register for your 100-watt ID if you do not have one. If you do have one, fill out the form that tells me that you dig it and you're interested. And what happens is we go back through this cycle, the lottery. Your name comes up, I contact you, and I say, I have a such and such product. Do you have the space to put it up? Do you have the time to test it? You can pass. And if you pass, you just go right back in. You go right back in. I'm not cutting anybody out. If you do test something, you're going to the back of the line until everybody gets a chance. But you see where I'm going. You can pass. It's perfectly good to pass, and I would appreciate you to pass because there's real money involved. I'm not just sending you a gift. I want some work. Give me a little bit back, okay? Give me a little bit of information back for the audience so we can make a really good judgment call when it comes time to putting out our money. Dollar's hard to come by. It's hard to make a buck. And that hasn't changed in generations. So there you have it. All right, my brothers and sisters, I think we've done it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening and understanding the restrictions. Sometimes when you lock into something and saying we only do this on a certain day, ooh, that's tough. That's tough for me to open up my schedule and say, look, it's lunchtime. You're not even hungry. Why don't you go, do a show for the people? I might be able to do that more, you see, than being locked into a time. Live streams will still exist. We will do cool things. If there's breaking news, it's something we need to go live with, we can go live. We can do that. But this began as a podcast first, so it is important that I get this out when I can get it out. Anytime I need to get it out, send it off to you, and you listen to it. Congratulations to Ed. He picked up he's a Kilo 8 Mike Echo Juliet. He is week number 2 winner for the 1K giveaway. There you have it. The only ham radio show, podcast, anywhere, anytime, giving away $1,000. We're halfway through. 2 more weeks. You can submit right through the website. Go to 100wattsandawire.com. Look for the 1K giveaway tab and send over your information. Give me that screenshot at my email address, and I'll put you in that big friendly pool of folks. For now, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you for the net on Sunday, 7 o'clock Central Time. You can listen for Uncle Paul, who will be running on 40 meters. We'll see what's going to go on here. We'll see Sidecar Steve in action and maybe a host of others. We'll check it out. But listen on your radio, check the socials and NetLogger for our frequency, and take care of yourselves. Look after each other in these crazy times. And by all means, if you can, please try and stay above the noise. 7-3.
To join the 100 Watts and a Wire community, visit 100wattsandawire.com.